Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about cigar-box guitars. To play along with this video you will need a 3-string cigar-box guitar with this type of fret spacing. This is fret spacing you'd see on a guitar, banjo, mandolin or ukulele. There are other cigar-box guitars that uses dulcimer spacing. I do post videos on them, so check out the list down below or to the right or wherever the list is. To play along with this video you need to be tuned G, string nearest your chin, D, the middle string, and G, the string nearest the floor. That's G, string nearest your chin, D, the middle string, and G, the string nearest the floor. So let's get started. In the first video we learned how to play the 12-bar blues in the key of G. So now we're going to learn it in the key of D. We know 2 chords already that we need to know. That is D, this is the note, 1st, 2nd fret. It is the 1st and 2nd finger at the 2nd fret of both G strings. That is your D. Again, this is the note, 1st, 2nd. So it's the 2nd fret of both G strings is the D chord. You will need to know the G chord, which you can either play like this, with no hands at all, or at the 4th fret on the G string nearest the floor. That's a G. Or the 4th fret of the thick G string, the one nearest your chin. That is also G. So again, we've got D, we've got G there, and G there. The next chord we need is the chord of A. Now there's 2 ways to play this. You can play it at the 2nd fret, all strings covered with 1 finger like that, but I tend to play it with 3 fingers in that gap, remembering this is the note, 1, 2. So it's 3 fingers in that gap is your A chord. So you can play it that way. Or you can do a bar like that. The choice is yours, but I mainly play it like that. I feel like I have a bit more control playing it like that. When we come on to playing slide cigar-box guitar, you will of course be using a slide, so practicing that 1 finger can be useful. So that's how to play the A chord. So now let's have a run through of the 12-bar blues in the key of D. There are 4 bars of D to start with, and we're just going to strum down 4 times to each bar. So on a D chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 1st bar. That's the 2nd bar. That's the 3rd bar. That's the 4th bar. We go to G, 4th fret of the G string nearest the floor. 2 bars. Another bar. Then back to D for 2 bars. Then A, that chord there, for 1 bar. G for 1 bar. Then D for 2 bars. So we'll run through that again. So now we'll try and play it without leaving any gaps. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, D. D again. Again. One more time. G. Back to D. A, G, D. Repeat, D 4 bars. G 2 bars. D 2 bars. 1 bar of A, 1 bar of a G, 2 bars of D. So obviously we've had a basic strum through of the 12 bar blues. We've mainly been strumming down. Now we're going to add the up strum. We're still strumming down 1, 2, 3, 4 to each bar, but in between the numbers we are strumming up. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we've got a D chord up here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that will be your strum. So we'll have a run through of the 12 bar blues. I will call out the chords, but this is the hand we're focusing on now. So it's 4 bars of D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's the first bar. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar, G chord up here, 2 bars of G. First bar. Second bar, back to D, D chord up here. Another bar of D. A chord up here. G chord. 2 bars of D. So let's have a run through of the 12 bar blues using that strum. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. G, back to D. A, G, and D. And again, 4 bars of D. Back to D. A, G, and D. To finish the 12 bar blues, after your last bar of D, play an A chord once, then back to the D chord. So if we take the last 4 bars, it will be A, 1 bar, G, 1 bar, D, 2 bars, another bar, then A, D, and it just finishes the song off nicely. As we are playing in the key of D and the D chord appears quite a lot, there is something we can do to make the sound a bit more interesting for the listener. For this we'll be using a D chord in that position and sliding up to the 4th fret every so often. So you've got D in its normal position and you're going to slide up to the 4th fret on the G strings. So you're going to count it something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and, with D in the normal position, you slide it up for the 4 and, then must slide it back down for the next 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So at normal count, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and What you can't do is this: 1 and 2 and 3 and big exaggerated pause, 4 and big exaggerated pause, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It has to move in those gaps. So strum with me: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So applying that to the 12 bar blues, the first 4 bars are all on D. So you could strum it 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's okay, there's nothing wrong with it, but when you add this slide, it can make it a bit more interesting. But you don't have to do it every bar, you could do 1 bar normally. That was done normally, then add the slide. So both together. So we'll strum that together. We're doing 1 bar with D not moving, and then on the second bar we'll do the move. So very slowly: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So applying that to the 12 bar blues, it would sound something like this. Again. So as you can see, it can add something for the listener doing these slides on the D chord. Now, we only moved it on the forehand. You can actually move it whenever you want. So for this demonstration, we're going to move it on the freehand. So D chord, 1 and 2 and, on this time on the freehand, slide up to the 4th, 3 and, then back to the 2nd for 4 and. So it's 1 and 2 and slide, 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I apply that to the first 4 bars of the 12 bar blues in D, it now sounds like this. Which the other way was this. So as you can see, they both give different sounds, and if I'm honest, you can combine the two and do whatever you want. All you really need to do is stay on that D chord for the majority of the bar, or else it can give the chord a different sound and it may not work with the music. But in reality, you can jump around as much as you feel like. So to recap, when we're playing a D chord, you have the option of sliding up to the 4th fret when you feel like. So I'll now do the 12 bar blues, the first 4 bars of the 12 bar blues, and I'm going to use different styles on each one. So the first time I'm going to play it just normally. Second time round I'm going to move on the 4-hand. Next time round I'm going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that would sound like this. So as you can hear, you can mix them up whenever you feel like. It's really all interpretive, there's no right or wrong, it is simply up to you. So play around with that D chord, just remember the rhythm must always stay in time. So now I will do a run through of the 12-bar blues, then I will say what strums I used where. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you may have noticed in the first 4 bars of the 12-bar blues, on the first bar of D, I stayed where I was. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the second bar I did the move on the 4-hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the third bar, D normally. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the next bar after that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then I went to G, but when I came back to D, I did the other strum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I repeated that for the next bar of D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then there was an A chord, a G chord, and on the last 2 bars of D, I just strummed both bars down up. So I'll run through again. On the first bar of the 12-bar blues, I played D normally. On the second bar, I moved up to the 4th on the 4-hand count. Then on the third bar, D normally, and on the 4th bar, slid up on the 4-hand to the 4th fret. I played G 2 bars, and this time when I came back to D, I did 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and then for the next bar of D, I did 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and then for the last 2 bars of the 12-bar blues in D, I just stayed on D in its normal position. And as you can hear, it added a bit of tonality to the music. It made it sound a bit more interesting for the listener. Now we're going to focus on the A to the G chord. The reason I play A like that is when I need to move back to G, I simply take them 2 fingers off and slide that one back to the 4th. So I'm in A there, first finger's on the thick G string, second finger's on the D, and my ring finger, 3rd finger, is on the thinner G string. So I'm playing A. I simply take them 2 fingers off and slide that one back into that G, which leaves these 2 fingers free to grab the D. So we'll go for that again. We're playing A like that. This first finger is on the thickest G, second finger on the D string, ring finger, 3rd finger on the octave G or the lighter G string. So when you're going from an A, you just simply take them 2 off and slide down to the G like that. This leaves these 2 fingers free to grab the D chord there. And that is the last little bit of the 12-bar blues, and it will get you playing a bit smoother. Well, that brings this video to an end on Blackpool Music Skills channel, all about blues on a cigar box guitar in the key of D. I hope you found it useful. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Blackpool Music School for more videos. In the link down below you will find links to our Twitter, Facebook and of course our webpage. So keep practicing, keep playing, take care and goodbye.